gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. NCAA Week 7. During Week 6, I went 16-5 on the win-loss, 9-12 against the spread, and 10-11 on the over-under. Year-to-date, I was 88-20 on one-loss, 54-47 against the spread, and 56-45 on the over-under. First game we got here is the second-ranked Clemson Tigers at 6-0 versus the Syracuse Orange. An ACC Atlantic matchup. Clemson is favored by 22.5. I got Clemson winning. I got them covering. I'm taking over on the 55.5. Next, we have the 8th ranked Washington State Cougars at 6-0 versus the California Golden Bears at 3-3. Pac-12 North matchup. Cougars are 3-0 in the Pac-12, while the Golden Bears are 0-3 in the Pac-12. Golden Bears won their first 3 games of the year and now lost 3 straight. Washington is favored by 13. I got Washington State winning, covering, and over on the 53.5. Next, we have the 6th ranked TCU Horned Frogs at 5-0 versus the Kansas State Wildcats at 3-2. A Big 12 matchup. Horned Frogs are 2-0 in the Big 12, while the Wildcats are 1-1 in the Big 12. With the Oklahoma loss last week to Iowa State, that opens up the Big 12 because they don't have the 2 divisions like a lot of the conferences. So with that 1 division, your top 2 teams will be in the Big 12 championship game. So you have TCU now with 0 losses. You have a ton of teams with 1 loss in the conference. So I think Texas is also undefeated in the conference, but they have 2 losses on the season. TCU wins, covers the 4.5 and over on the 53.5. Next, the ACC, the Atlantic versus the Coastal. We have the 20th ranked NC State Wolfpack at 5-1 versus the Pittsburgh Panthers at 2-4. NC State is favored by 12. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 56. Next, we have the 17th ranked Michigan Wolverines at 4-1 versus the 3-2 Indiana Hoosiers, a Big 10 East matchup. Wolverines are 1-1 in the Big 10, coming off a loss to Michigan State last week. Question is, can Jim Harbaugh's teams win the big one? The big games against Michigan State. He's what, 1-2 versus Michigan State in the 3 years at Michigan. I think he's same record against Ohio State or something like that. So he should be able to beat Indy. Indiana, they're not that good. So Michigan's favored by 5.5. I got them winning, covering, and taking over on the under on the 46. So win, cover the 5.5, and under on the 46. Next, we have the 24th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders at 4-1 versus the 3-2 West Virginia Mountaineers, Big 12 matchup. West Virginia favored by 3.5 at home. Giving the 3.5 to Texas Tech. I got the Red Raiders covering the 3.5 and under on the 78. Next, out of the Big 12, we have the Baylor Bears at 0-5 versus the 14th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys, 4-1. Oklahoma State favored by 25.5. I got them winning. I got Baylor covering the 25.5, and I'm taking under on the 70.5. Speaking of those Oklahoma Sooners, Boomer Sooner, they're 1-1 in the Big 12. That lost last week. Oklahoma beating Ohio State. What was it? Week 1, week 2. It was a good loss for Oklahoma, or for Ohio State. Excuse me. It was a great win for Oklahoma. Great non-conference win. But they lost to Iowa State last week. So that it takes a great win against Ohio State and just brings it down. So they're going to have to win out, and especially in conference. You got Texas at 2-0, you got TCU 2-0, and all these 1-1 teams. The only problem with the Longhorns is those 2 losses, I think, will hurt them when it comes to the Final Four for the playoffs. I got Oklahoma winning. I got them covering the 7.5 and over on the 62.5. Next, we have the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 3-1 versus the 11th ranked Miami Hurricanes at 4-0. ACC Coastal matchup here. Miami favored by 3.5. I got Georgia Tech covering the 6.5. Oh, sorry, I say 3.5. Miami favored by 6.5. I got Georgia Tech covering the 6.5 and over on the 52.5. Next, we have the Purdue Boilermakers at 3-2 versus the 7th ranked Wisconsin Badgers at 5-0. Big 10 West matchups. Wisconsin favored by 15.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 15.5. And next, we have out of the ACC, we have the 10th ranked Auburn Tigers at 5-1 versus the LSU Tigers at 4-2. SEC West matchup. Auburn is 3-0 in the SEC this year, while the Tigers are 1-1. Or the LSU Tigers are 1-1. Auburn's favored by 6.5. I got them winning, covering under on the 44.5. Next, out of the American Conference West Division, we have the 25th ranked Navy Midshipmen at 5-0 versus the 4-1 Memphis Tigers. Memphis is favored by 4. Navy is 3-0 in the American Conference this year, while Memphis is 1-1. Memphis' offense is scoring 42 a game, but the defense is giving up 35. Whew. I'm giving the 4 points to Navy. I got Navy winning, going to 6-0, covering the 4 points, and under on the 75. Next, out of the ACC, we have the Arkansas Razorbacks at 2-3 versus the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide at 6-0. 43 points a game they're scoring, giving up 10. They're favored by 30. I got the Bama Crimson Tide winning, covering, and under on the 55.5. Or over on the 55.5, excuse me. So Bama wins, Bama covers, and over on the 55.5. Also in the SEC, we have the Missouri Tigers at 1-4 versus the 4th ranked Georgia Bulldogs at 6-0. Bulldogs scored 42 a game, giving up 10. The Tigers are giving up 40 a game. So this is going to be just a shootout, especially for Georgia. Georgia's favored by 30.5. I got them winning, covering the 30.5, and over on the 57. And last, we got the 9th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes at 5-1 versus the 3-3 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Big Ten East versus West matchup. Buckeyes are 3-0 in conference this year. They're favored by 24. I got Nebraska covering the 24. So Ohio State wins. Nebraska covers at 24 and over on the 56.5. So that will wrap up Week 7 of the NCAA football season. As always, check out Robert Sports Show for NFL Week 6. Check out Robert Sports Show for the NASCAR Alabama 500 preview, along with the NASCAR Xfinity Series Round 2 of the playoff preview. If you're not, a NASCAR fan, the first 4 races of the playoffs, in my previews, I have picked the winners of all 4 races. In the Xfinity Series, the 4 who would be eliminated after round 1, I picked that. So I'm gonna roll with that, it seems like. So, alright. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports telling content.